thanks to him, we know more about black holes, life beyond the stars, and the theory of everything. Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 mind-blowing facts about Stephen Hawking.
But the discoveries of the Kepler mission suggest that there are billions of habitable planets in our galaxy alone.
For this list, we'll be focusing on one of the greatest minds in science by looking at a few fascinating facts about the man himself.
I made a boo-boo, and I gave it to Stephen Hawking.
Great. Another fainter.
Number 10. He believes in aliens.
In your estimation, what's the probability of finding intelligent alien life in the next 20 years and why?
The probability is low. Probably.
The universe is dizzyingly immense, something Stephen Hawking knows as much as anyone. With that in mind, Hawking thinks it's very likely that intelligent alien life exists somewhere. However, while the cosmologist believes in that possibility, he also thinks humans should be careful about trying to contact them. Why? Because he posits that such life forms would likely try to destroy us, or at least ravage Earth for resources. In 2010, Hawking publicly stated his concern, comparing invading alien civilizations and the effect on humans to Columbus landing in America and the effect on Native Americans.
So if aliens ever visit us, I think the outcome would be much as when Christopher Columbus first landed in America. Which didn't turn out very well for the Native Americans.
Even so, he supported Breakthrough Listen, a research program dedicated to finding alien life. Finding but not contacting if Hawking has his way.
Can there be a peace between us?
Number 9. He's a pop culture icon.
But then I said, in that frame of reference, the perihelion of Mercury would have precessed in the opposite direction.
While an increasing number of scientists today are developing public personas of their own, none has managed to make an impact quite like Stephen Hawking.
I'll be stretching out the rhyme like gravity stretches time when you try to put your little pea brain against this kind of mind.
For years, he's been making public appearances and guest starring on popular TV shows like The Simpsons, Futurama, The Big Bang Theory, and Star Trek.
The day that apple fell on my head was the most momentous day in the history of science.
Not the Apple story again.
These cameos often showcase his staggering intelligence and trademark dry humor, alongside some light, good-natured self-deprecation.
Silence. I don't need anyone to talk for me, except this voice box. You have clearly been corrupted by power.
As a result, he's become something of a household name for people of all ages. References to the scientist can also be found in a number of songs, comics, video games, movies, and more, proving he really has permeated nearly every facet of pop culture.
That's nice. Too bad it's wrong.
Number 8. He's a betting man.
I call. You are bluffing, and you will lose.
Wrong again, Albert.
Stephen Hawking loves making science bets. Thing is, his track record kinda sucks. For example, he once bet that the existence of the Higgs boson would never be proven. FYI, the Higgs boson was found by CERN in 2012 thanks to the Large Hadron Collider. Before that, Hawking teamed with fellow theoretical physicist Kip Thorne in a bet against John Preskill about the black hole information paradox. Basically, the question was, does the information that falls into black holes get destroyed? Hawking and Thorne said yes, Preskill said no. Though the original bet went public in 1997, it wasn't until 2004 that Hawking officially conceded, admitting his opinion on the matter had evolved. For his win, Preskill went home with a shiny new baseball encyclopedia.
All right, gotta have it. Something like this.
Number 7. He was a mediocre student.
Stephen, are you aware that you've voluntarily embarked upon a PhD in physics at the most prestigious college in England?
Yes.
Oh, I thought maybe you'd slept through the induction or something.
Like many of our greatest thinkers, school was initially not a great time for Stephen Hawking. He was, at best, middle of the pack when it came to his grades.
Have you even bothered, Stephen?
In 2010, Professor Hawking readily admitted that he was a lazy student, from grade school all the way to his time at Oxford, and didn't really learn how to read until he was 8.
I wasn't the best student at all. My handwriting was bad, and I could be lazy.
Even so, his schoolmates nicknamed him Einstein, clearly seeing his potential for greatness. Fortunately, one math teacher inspired him, sparking his interest in both math and science.
There was an inspirational math teacher, Mr. Tada. He opened my eyes to the blueprint of the universe itself.
Once he was diagnosed with ALS, Hawking really began to consider his own mortality. So he focused on his work to make something of himself in the time he had left.
I have spent my life attempting to unlock the mysteries of the universe.
Number 6. He was a star rower. While at Oxford, a young Stephen Hawking was finding himself bored with classes and in need of social interaction. In an effort to try something new, he joined the school's boat club. Before his illness, he was one of the most important members of the crew, the coxswain, which, with his strong voice and slight build, was an ideal role for him. Hawking actually proved to be a bit reckless, steering his crew through narrow spaces and often damaging the boats as a result. One of his crewmates even labeled him the adventurous type. His dedication made him very popular with his crew, and soon his social life was booming, with parties and friendly practical joking. Number 5. He's British. The casting of British actor Eddie Redmayne as Hawking for the 2014 biopic The Theory of Everything may have surprised some people.
Bravo.
After all, the computerized voice we know and love has an accent that's decidedly not British.
It has become my trademark, and I wouldn't change it for a more natural voice with a British accent.
However, Stephen Hawking was born and raised in England. So where'd the accent go? In 1985, he underwent a life-saving tracheotomy after contracting pneumonia. Unfortunately, the operation robbed him of his ability to speak. He eventually began using a specialized computer program to communicate, and the synthetic voice he adopted as his own spoke with an American accent.
But then I got a speech synthesizer, which was designed for a telephone directory service.
There have since been many upgrades to his method of communication, but Hawking has kept this voice as part of his identity. It's even been copyrighted.
I don't like your tone.
If you are looking for trouble, you found it.
Yeah, just try me, you...
Number 4. He's a prolific writer, even though he can't physically write or speak.
My old system worked well, and I wrote 5 books with it, including A Brief History of Time, which was on the Sunday Times bestseller list for over 5 years, longer than any other book. The Bible and Shakespeare don't count, apparently.
Though he was already famous within the scientific community, Stephen Hawking truly came to the public's attention in 1988 with the release of his seminal popular science book, A Brief History of Time. He had wanted to write a science book that would actually connect with readers, and he succeeded. Covering everything from black holes to quantum theory, it became a bestseller, spending almost 150 weeks on the New York Times bestseller list and selling over 10 million copies.
And it's been suggested that Stephen Hawking stole his Brief History of Time from my 4th grade paper.
However, what's even more impressive is the fact that this comprehensive work was completed after Hawking was almost fully paralyzed and unable to speak. He's since gone on to author many other books, including George's Secret Key to the Universe, a science book for children. Number 3, his speech synthesizer is state-of-the-art.
Who is talking to me right now? Is it you, or is it a sentient computer pretending to talk on your behalf?
It's me.
Although it's not his own, Stephen Hawking's synthesized voice is instantly recognizable to anyone who hears it.
It's a little hard to read your tone of voice. When you say that, are you being sarcastic?
Yes.
That's because, despite his medical issues, his amazing speech-generating device allows him to communicate. The first model worked entirely via a clicker clutched in his hand, which let him select words and commands on a device attached to his wheelchair. However, ALS ravaged Hawking's body, ultimately robbing him of the use of his clicking hand. This resulted in an update that allowed him to choose words by moving his cheek muscle. As his condition declined further, a crack team at Intel added more updates thanks to much trial and error. ultimately making it possible for him to more quickly open documents, construct sentences, and prepare full lectures.
Now Intel have written a new program, ACAT, which uses predictive text to speed up writing.
Number 2. He's never won a Nobel Prize. Stephen Hawking's name is synonymous with genius. His theories have helped advance our understanding of the universe, and yet his trophy case is missing one of the highest honors in science. Yes, as shocking as it may sound, Hawking has yet to be awarded a Nobel Prize.
That can't be right. I don't make arithmetic mistakes.
Are you saying I do?
But don't worry, he has earned some other great distinctions, becoming a Fellow of the Royal Society in 1974, and receiving 12 honorary degrees over the years, for example.
I have never won a Nobel Prize.
Oh, wow, that doesn't seem fair.
It's fine. I've been on The Simpsons.
However, his best-known work is the theory that predicts that black holes emit radiation, nicknamed Hawking radiation, and are gradually evaporating. Because Nobel Prizes are reserved for confirmed discoveries, and Hawking radiation is still technically theoretical, no award has yet been granted.
You've stated that you believe there could be an infinite number of parallel universes. Does that mean that there is a universe out there where I am smarter than you?
Yes, and also a universe where you're funny.
Number 1. He's alive. After noticing some newfound clumsiness and slurred speech, Stephen Hawking was diagnosed with Lou Gehrig's disease, also known as amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, or ALS, in 1963. The doctors told the ambitious 21-year-old that he only had 2 years to live. Shortly before this bad news, he'd met a pretty girl at a party. Despite his diagnosis, he and Jane Wilde began dating and were soon engaged, which Hawking credits with giving him something to live for. Against all odds, Hawking continued to try to live normally for as long as possible. ALS did eventually take its toll, but not his life. Thanks to groundbreaking technology and the help of family and friends, over 50 years later, he's still defying the odds.
Look what we made.
Do you agree with our list? What other mind-blowing facts about Stephen Hawking did we miss?
Another award. What can you do?
For more brilliant top 10s published every day, be sure to subscribe to WatchMojo.com.
You've got no idea what you're messing with here, boy. I got 12-inch rims on my chair, that's how I roll, y'all. You look like someone glued a mustache on a troll doll.